queens, and it was just great play from PandaBearMe, and just super aggressive, super dirty.
PandaBearMe takes a not decently quick game one, but still he takes game one, and if he's managed to take another game, he will move on to the round of 16. Coming up next, we will have the more games coming, but I just want to point out to you guys that this is a $700 prize pool tournament, the Rival StarCraft 2 League. 300 to first place, 150 to second, and then money kind of trickles down from there. I think it's like 75 to third and fourth, but these boys are playing for some nice amount of money, and still a long ways off. Nevertheless, though, getting that round of 16 would be really awesome. And PandaBearMe actually, in Season 1, made it to the round of 16. Season 2 made it to 5th place, so he is really gunning for those finals, Draven.
Yeah, it's just PandaBearMe. I think it's hard to say. I mean, it's really hard to say. I really thought Namshar was going to put up a better fight. And I'm not saying he didn't. It just PandaBearMe controlled it the entire time. I don't think there was a point where I thought PandaBearMe was going to lose. I thought Namshar, kind of towards the end, I thought Namshar was like, okay, he's kind of leveling out. He's kind of doing good, but then he just lost those queens. So I'm excited to see, what kind of play we're going to see from Namshar, because he needs to put the pressure on it. We are going to be on a smaller map, so it might change it up a little bit, but I'm super stoked to see what they're going to do.
It did snowball from the beginning, though, for PandaBearMe, which did allow him to get that lead. So, if it's even economy-wise, maybe Namshar has that control. As you were saying, Namshar, you think he's got the better control, but still right there. I mean, when you have double the lings, doesn't quite matter. Coda, even more of a potent map for something like that again. But on the other hand, Namshar is going to be much more careful and get that first Overlord in, scout everything, and not underestimate PandaBearMe's play.
Yep, so spawning in our north position, this is Coda, so there's only a 2 spawn map, so spawning in our north position, it is our blue Zerg player, up 1 in the series. It is, I completely messed this up, let me try this one more time. Spawning in our top left position, it is Namshar, he's down 1 in the series. It is blue Zerg player, Namshar.
And his opponent in the bottom right-hand corner, the yellow Zerg player from the US of A and Invasion Esports, it is PandaBearMe. PandaBearMe, as I was mentioning, spawned a whole bunch of random names. Then, of course, you have Desra, who's like, come on, guys, I'm the real panda here. And you're like, no, PandaBearMe is. As we mentioned, though, with Draven, as we're talking about just PandaBearMe, man, the aggressiveness of how he's playing it may have just snowballed from the beginning. We'll have to see how Namshar plays, whether he's a little bit safe. Maybe goes aggressive himself. Best defense is a great offense, and that is definitely a possibility for Namshar. We'll see how he actually plays that out, though. Does have a lot better control, but it comes down to when the banelings are in, and when you have speed, you got to be even with your opponent. I'd love to see PandaBearMe maybe go for the economic opening to kind of just completely switch things up and just start off the game with a very cool little build. But on the other hand, definitely he's got to be scared about Namshar, because Namshar will be going for what looks like it's 14-14 or just a pool first. We'll see what he actually ends up with going with. Definitely the 14-14 could punish PandaBearMe with going that hatch first, but nevertheless, it's not going to be that. And it looks like Namshar is just going for a quick pool into his natural base. I always love ZVZ when it's Lingbane versus Lingbane, because you really see the micro shine, and I love the mirror matchup ZVZ because it's all about how you go about attacking your opponent. It's nothing to do with the counters, or I mean, generally it's nothing to do with the counters. When it's Roach v Roach or Lingbane versus Lingbane, it's all about your control, all about the angles, and it comes down to some pretty cool strategy. PandaBearMe just playing it out pretty darn economically. Not too crazy, not too greedy, not too safe, though. Kind of right in the middle, a beautiful space for him, which is going to work great for Namshar. And on this even playing field of neither really going for the early aggression, it could pan out much better for Namshar. First Overlord of Namshar will be moving into the third base of PandaBearMe and should spot, okay, no crazy, like, grade 3 hatch for 4 pool if you dare do something like that. And the same thing for PandaBearMe, but now these 2 lanes of Namshar will be moving out, be able to scout. Nothing off the back of that. Both players getting gas, playing very standard. Metabolic Boost and Banelings will be on the way pretty shortly in the next 2 to 3 minutes and going into that more standard Baneling Ling style that we see kind of happen out of these ZVZs. Two lings of Namshar will hit PandaBearMe's natural with no queen there. At least they will scout, okay, cool, you're pretty much doing what I'm doing, and that's what they're doing. If Namshar maybe would have gone 4 lings, just a little bit more, he could be slightly more aggressive. Nevertheless, though, with only 2-3 lings here, actually, sorry, no lings there, now 2 lings, he can go after a kill and force maybe 2 extractors, at least force one extractor out. PandaBearMe does successfully defend. Gets his motherships, I'm too used to protest. Gets his queens out, and now is going to be able to inject here. Maybe provide some back and rebuttals off the back of this. But his opponent, Namshar, is the same. It's pretty darn even so far. Yet on the one hand, Namshar has not gone for metabolic boost. Actually, interestingly enough, wow, PandaBearMe has, and this could actually prove to be a little bit dangerous for Namshar. Like I was saying, yes, it's even. Yes, it comes down to the positioning. But if you're missing a Baneling, if you're missing Baneling Nest, if you're missing metabolic boost, it's just going to go downhill from there. PandaBearMe will get into the main, maybe get that scout. Still, it's not going to provide him too much information. He will see, yes, metabolic boost is on the way, but he does not know when that'll actually finish. And I was saying, it's got to be a little bit scary. At least Namshar this time, he keeps mining gas. He's got the possibility to go into Roach Warren and just keep pumping out Banelings. His Baneling nest is in a beautiful position, while PandaBearMe has a Spinecrawler in a nice position, really ready to defend any Ling pushes, getting a queen right there, maybe to transfuse, hold a little bit better position, but we'll have to see how that all pans out, because they're now getting a little bit of the mid-game, and we'll see how it goes. Well, not even necessarily the mid-game, but honestly, this is where they've been culminating to, they've been trying to get to. PandaBearMe's defense is good technically, but now we're starting to get out where they're actually going with. And interestingly enough, both players playing very passively, just getting their economies up and not doing anything too aggressive. While we see a quicker layer for PandaBearMe, both players playing it out pretty much darn the same way, scouting each other. They know that, but Namshar will go for that quicker third. And honestly, I guess PandaBearMe will take that also. And here we are, Draven back.
Thank you. Just gotta, for the crowd, had to put on the white shirt.
Now I want to take off my tie and actually get something that matches, because like my entire goal is just to be like, this doesn't match, and like, look at me, like, notice me is my entire goal right here.
Well, I mean, they did notice you. They noticed that you were the guy wearing orange, and now I'm the guy wearing purple, because got to represent that Zerg. So let me jump into this. Sorry guys for that delay, but chat wanted a tie, and I threw on a tie for them. They said purple, and I gave them purple.
Well, yeah. Moving into this now, though, we see a large swell of PandaBearMe's Lings moving out, and he has not taken his third base. That means he is kind of technically at a 300 mineral plus. Actually, he takes it now, so screw whatever I just said, but he's still being aggressive. Lings pumping out across the map. Baneling's already for Namshar, and it's going to be pretty darn even here, especially with the 2 queens of Namshar to reinforce. Oh, he's got to be careful not to lose too many drones. There's the Spire coming down for PandaBearMe.
Yeah, so they focus on the hatchery. I mean, like, if you keep just poking at the hatchery a little bit by little, like the hatcheries do regenerate health, but if you could poke it down a little bit here and there, oh, and got a couple good hits off those Banes, a couple more coming in. Got one Bane from Namshar coming in from behind. The defense is a little bit better. Defense is good.
Baneling hits are good, but now it's kind of went by. Now it's kind of left that early stage of the Baneling Wars where the Banelings are morphing in and do kind of, you still have Banelings off the back of this waiting to do, and it's going to provide a small moment of opportunity for Namshar to push out across the map, but pushed a little bit too greedily. Like I was saying, you want to morph in those Banelings, but you want them morphing in at home to join your Lings as they retreat and get some nice kills. For now, though, both players on 3 bases. PandaBearMe, though, decided to go Spire versus the Roach Warren of Namshar. Namshar, though, he's pumping a lot of Lings and making a decent amount more Banelings than PandaBearMe at the moment. He may not have the gas to actually push out enough Roaches to defeat the oncoming Mutas.
Yeah, we only see the two Mutas in production. They are going to get spotted eventually because we do see some good Overlord positioning. But like you said, it seems like Namshar is going for Speedlings, got some Roaches coming out. So now the Mutas are seen. So we're probably going to see a lot of spores being done. We see 3 in production now. We're going to see another queen on the way.
Well, the third base is so close to being taken down. Barely it won't be taken down, though. PandaBearMe does defend. He's being very careful with the Banelings. He knows he does not need to sacrifice any.
But we see so many Lings. Oh. There's Lings in PandaBearMe's main base, just destroying all the drones. The Mutas are trying to help out, but those Lings just doing a lot of damage. He's going to clean all this up. There's only 2 workers on this now. 3 workers. Wow, that was
PandaBearMe
great.
cleans up, but as you mentioned, after losing a total of 18 workers, Draven, that's not where you want to be, especially when your third base is so low on health. Those mutas, you only want the mutas to show up when you're in your opponent's base, and now Namshar has been given time. Not going roaches yet. He knows, okay, maybe I don't want to do that, just safety, but his economy is amazing, getting up spores, and this attack from PandaBearMe is going to have to do a lot of damage, and he's got to be really careful about any counterattacks because they could potentially snipe his third base. Mutas moving in. They will be able to snipe one of these queens before anything happens. Actually, all the links of PandaBearMe lock down Namshar's queens, not allowing them to maybe transfuse. But there's so many queens right out. Now, currently there is a total of 4. There was more, maybe 5 or 6. But the front line has now been broken, and PandaBearMe may be able to kill this Baneling Nest. It's going to be such a huge win, but the Roaches are here to defend. Fighting back and forth off the back of this, we're seeing no drones at all from PandaBearMe, and he's committing to this defense. Zerg Flyer upgrades coming up, or Zerg Carapace, actually, all the way.
Yeah, so these mutas are flying in, they focus down the queen, the Bane's trying to go back, do some damage on the roaches, but the roaches just take the Bane heads like a boss. Transfuse goes down, saves the queen, and these mutas unfortunately aren't doing as much damage. I'm like, yeah, it makes Namshar a little bit nervous having him around, but he defended really well, and the roaches going across the map. These mutas will intercept, take down a couple before they rush back to the queens. 1, 2.
Mutas will at least push it back now, and then find the, I hope on accident, Swarm Host. Maybe not an accident, Swarm Host, but it happens. I do play a decent amount of Zerg, and it happens. But for right now, the mutas are actually really nicely fighting back and forth with the queens.
We do see Lings getting on the third base of Namshar on that top, just kind of forcing around. He's going to take out the queen, which is a great pickup. He's going to lose the rest of his Lings to the roaches. More mutas coming down. They're just trying to kill these queens. If you can get these queens down, this is the defense for Namshar. If he can get the queens down, they'll spell game over. These mutas will be able to do anything, but all 4 queens remain alive. The third one does get picked off by the Lings, but holy smokes.
So much damage both players have hit each other with. Actually, interestingly enough, 0 workers PandaBearMe has killed even with this amount of mutas, but Namshar has killed 20, and that's the only way he's been able to stay along in this game. For now, the roaches, man, you gotta be heading across the map, not kind of sitting meandering in the middle, taking so much damage from these mutas. +1 flying attack is coming down from the mutas, and they're only gonna get better, but there's just so many spores for Namshar. Even without those queens, he's defending well, and I mean, he does have the one Swarm Host. I'd love to see it just be like, go to the bottom left, kind of hook around and take out the third base, or harass the third base of PandaBearMe, because there's also 2 roaches there, knowing PandaBearMe's third, burrowing and unburrowing, do some amazing micro.
Yeah, like you said, we got the burrow coming down, which means the roach is just going to drop. Whenever a muta comes, they're going to drop, waiting for the mutas to fly away, and then they're going to pick up again. We also see infestors, so they're going to try fungal growth. The mutas on top of the queens, so the queens could do some more damage on top of these mutas. They're going to come in, they're going to try to snipe that one queen who only has a sliver of health left.
There's still a lot of queens for Namshar. Even if one goes down, he has a total of 7. It's kind of funny, the muta's like, we don't even care about the Swarm Host. Like, just, yeah. It's actually great for you because that is a decent amount of gas you sacrificed. With these mutas, though, even though they can't engage directly in the main, they do provide little alleyways for their Lings to get up in different positions, but the fungal is amazing! The fungal is great if you can chain fungal. All these mutas are going to go down. The queens are here to defend, and these... it's amazing! He will take out a total of 20 mutas. 11 survive, but they're so low on health.
Yeah, that was amazing chain fungals, and these queens were just right on top. We didn't get all the queens in because the queens were blocking the other 2 on the ramp from getting up there, but damn, those are great fungal hits. And now the army's just getting really kind of, queen heavy, which we've seen before. Like, queens is, even though they're a utility unit, you can use them for aggressive purposes, as we see. I mean, there's 7 queens in that front line that stops those mutas from getting to the base.
Sad thing for PandaBearMe, not only losing a decent amount of mutas and at least going low on health, is he's kind of got nothing is going in off the back of this. He's going to keep trying to pressure with mutas. Currently 19 are out on the field. They will be able to snipe this Spore Crawler, but is there a transfuse? No, there is no transfuse. They will be able to take out the Queen too. There is so many Overlords in this main base, 16, 17, and really all that PandaBearMe, he's trying to rip his opponent apart. There's nowhere he's trying to get. He's being able to rip his opponent apart really well, but eventually Eventually, Namshar is going to move out across the map, and it's the important decision, whether it be TV, whatever, and you're getting dropped, and you have to make the decision, you know what? I'm going out on the offensive, and it can always prove to do well. But, oh, Fungal Growth's going to be good! Fungal Growth's going to be really good!
He doesn't have the control, unfortunately, for the funnel growths. And we do see Hydras on the field now, and so if he can get a great funnel growth with those Hydras, it's going to prove a pretty nasty fight. The Mutas are coming and going to attack the Queens again, but again, I think that's not a good use of Mutas. It's so close. He doesn't want to hit the Hydras. He doesn't want to get fungled. Yeah, the 7 Queens are just stopping any kind of damage, but we do see the army was going to cross the map. Now they're pulling back.
All of it pulls back to defend an Overlord, but that does allow them to pull back and defend the Mutas and the Ling run-bys, trying to get into the natural base. Just desperately, PandaBearMe is trying to pull his opponent apart. Off the back of this, we do see Hive and more upgrades for melee for his Lings and stuff, but it's just getting a little bit scary for him. Yes, he's defending, yes, he's attacking. Namshar is defending, not lost too much, but PandaBearMe's bottom
Mutas is going to fly right into that army. Mutas fly right into the army.
Beautiful fungos! They're all on top of each other.
Yeah, his army's about to get destroyed. Yeah, those fungals, those beautiful fungals. Holy smokes! Yeah, that was great fungals on top of those Mutas, right on top of the Hydralisk, and that's exactly what you don't want to see as a Muta player, or as a Zerg player.
Like I was saying right there, I do not want to move into those fungals. The control of Namshar just a little bit better, but so back and forth. Namshar was going somewhere with it. PandaBearMe was, I'm going to try to keep pulling you apart, and eventually did go somewhere with it, but he's not quite able to actually capitalize off of that. And yes, some kills were done, but overall Namshar killed 20 workers to PandaBearMe's like 4 or 5. So the Mutas, yes, they did damage, but Namshar in the end was able to prevail, and that makes it 1-1. Game 3 is going to be Terraform, and wow, it's even.
Yeah, and on that, the one time when he sniped that Spore and sniped that Queen, and when the drones burrowed, man, I would have focused on the Overlords. I would have supply capped him. You could have knocked out 6 or 7 in the amount of time, but he just was so careful, didn't want to get fungled, that he ran away. But man, I would have put him behind just a little bit. I would have put Namshar behind just a little bit, and may have been worth the risk. But ultimately, he does get fungled and loses his entire Muta army. It happened a couple times.
That's a fantastic point. Just some of the decision making with that army. He had the army, but not quite the decision making to make it work out. Nevertheless, we should see a game 3 on Terraform, which, I mean, it's going to be a much more cramped position. Yes, you can see a lot of kind of Muta versus Infestor Hydra Roach wars, but if it does come down to that, easily the Roach player or whoever the ground-based player can send their units over and just kind of all into your 30 or your natural with taking, a decent amount of damage, but not quite as much as you may see on Coda. Guys, this is the Rival StarCraft 2 League. Currently, we have a $700 prize pool. That is 301st place, 152nd place. That is Draven. I am Drennoc, and we are doing some phenomenal StarCraft tonight. It's been some great games. I really enjoyed casting them. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you can, please send us a follow. If you enjoy Draven, check him out at Twitter on twitter.com, Dre_craft, I believe.
Yes.
I am at Drennoc. That is